day guys, and welcome to a journey into the Soviet Union's hidden gems, science or secret research cities. These secretive towns were built to house brilliant scientists working on a groundbreaking projects. Imagine a place where cutting-edge research, top-secret tech and everyday's life blended seamlessly. But why did the USSR or the US create those unique hubs? Science cities sprang up around key research institutes and factories often focus on nuclear energy, aviation or space exploration. People there live just steps from their labs with apartments, parks and theater designed to keep them inspired. Starting in 1930s and booming after World War II, these cities fueled Soviet innovation. From aircraft designs to nuclear breakthroughs, they shaped history. However, it wasn't an invention of the Soviet Union. The first territory or city of this kind appeared in the United Kingdom back in 1915 due to the opening of a cordite production plant on the border between England and Scotland. In early 1943, a close settlement was established in the United States in connection with the launch of Manhattan Project. I invite you to join me in the attempt to build one of those cities in Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. Hit that subscribe button and let's dive in. I've set a few goals for myself in this series. It will have several episodes, and while it's not meant to be a full guide, I'll be commenting on what I do, how things work as we go. I'm sure you'll pick up something new along the way, so don't hesitate to drop your questions in the comment section below. I was a young engineer in the State Construction Bureau when they dropped that strange project on us. The orders came straight from the party: build a cluster of cities in the remote wilderness, with infrastructure to make them nearly self-sufficient. No explanation, no grand purpose, just build. All we got was grainy helicopter footage from some geologists showing a wild, uncharted sprawl of forests and hills. Planning, construction, resource counting, everything was on us. Looking back, I should have sensed the secrecy means something bigger. We were laying the foundation for something massive, something tied to the nuclear fuel. Though I didn't know it then. I was just a man with a blueprint, starting on an untamed land, wondering how to carve the future from it. Then we got lucky. Just beyond our sight we found the half-finished railroad tracks and a rough road stretching towards a neighboring republic. With only a crude terrain map, we sketched our plans to extend the highway and rails, hoping they would anchor our efforts. It hit us hard. We didn't have enough workers. Without locals the project would stall, so we had to set up a small factory near the first city. Added farmland and opened a quarry to create jobs and pull in folks from nearby. Those moves gave us a fighting chance. The railroads though, they were our bread and butter. Our bureau's first base, lean on them to hold in supplies. I'm certain now, without those tracks, we would crumbled. Our construction project is always kicked off with the creation of a road. We carefully laid down a dirt road stretching toward the site of our future settlement, while also mapping our plans for railway tracks to support future growth. At this stage, these roads are temporary, acting more as a directional guide to shape our vision. And dirt roads are incredibly practical because they're completely free, can be constructed quickly and are just as easy to dismantle, making them an excellent tool for initial planning. I strongly recommend adding dirt roads to the shortcuts menu in your interface. This simple addition will save you millions and millions of mouse clicks, trust me. Throughout the process, I will also rely on the measuring tool to evaluate terrain elevation differences accurately and measures distances, ensuring that production facilities are optimally placed relative to residential zones for maximum efficiency. As we embark on our ambitious construction project, the first step as always involves establishing a robust infrastructure, starting with the resource storage facilities. These storage units are critical to ensuring a smooth and efficient construction process. After careful consideration, we've decided to position these storage facilities strategically, roughly halfway between the future city we envision and the customs house, which serves as our primary resource hub. This deliberate placement is designed to significantly reduce the time and effort required to transport essential materials to the numerous construction sites we have planned. Given the scale of our project, with a multitude of buildings and infrastructure developments on the horizon, optimizing logistics is a paramount. To kick things off, we will construct a couple of free aggregate storages specifically designated to hold gravel, a vital resource for our foundational work. These storage units are cost-effective and quick to set up, making them an ideal choice for the early stages of our project. In addition to this, we will establish 4 free open storages to accommodate a broader range of materials, ensuring we have ample space to store everything from construction supplies to miscellaneous resources needed for the city's development. This setup will provide flexibility and prevent bottlenecks as we scale up our operations. Next, we'll focus on expanding our bureau, the administrative heart of our construction efforts, by incorporating a total of 7 construction offices. This might seem like a significant number, but it's a necessary investment given the technological constraints of 1930s settings we're working within. During this era, machinery operates at a slower pace and trucks have limited cargo capacity, which can slow down progress if not managed carefully. By equipping ourselves with a substantial number of construction offices, we ensure access to a larger fleet of vehicles and machinery. This allows us to accelerate construction timelines and manage multiple sites simultaneously, streamlining our workflow and keeping the projects on track. In addition to the construction offices, we will set up a couple of road depots to serve as temporary parking and maintenance hubs for our equipment. These depots will keep our machinery organized and readily available, reducing downtime between tasks. We'll also establish 2 technical offices, which will play a crucial role in maintaining the infrastructure we are building. These offices will oversee road maintenance, ensuring our dirt roads and eventual paved routes remain in a good condition. They also handle essential services like garbage collection and wastewater management, which are critical for keeping the construction site and future city functional and hygienic. While we don't anticipate needing to demolish any structures at this stage, I believe in planning ahead. To that end, we will set up a demolition office as a precautionary measure. Having this office ready will save us time and effort if we need to clear space or correct any planning oversights later on. To round out our bureau's infrastructure, we'll place 2 free gas stations at the opposite ends of the site. These stations will ensure our vehicles and machinery remain fueled and operational, minimizing delays and keeping our construction efforts moving smoothly. Some might argue that this level of planning is overly elaborate, suggesting we could simply transport resources directly from the customs house to the construction sites. While that approach might work in simpler scenarios, I find great value in the role-playing element of this setup. Not only does it add depth to the planning process, but it also creates a visually appealing and well-organized layout. As we progress with our ambitious construction project, the next critical step is to assign specific types of resources to our storages, ensuring we have the materials needed to keep our operations running smoothly. For the time being, we'll focus on prioritizing 5 key resources: steel, bricks, panels, boards and gravel. Why did we choose these particular materials? Well, first and foremost, these are final, ready-to-use construction materials. Unlike intermediate products such as asphalt or concrete, which due to their chemical properties cannot be stored for extended periods without degrading. This makes steel, bricks, panels, boards and gravel ideal for our immediate needs. Second, the scale of our project demands these materials in enormous quantities to support the rapid development of our future city and its infrastructure. Third, one of the greatest advantages of these resources is that they can be stored in free storages, which require no additional infrastructure like electricity, water or specialized facilities. This not only keeps our costs down, but also simplifies the logistics of managing our resources efficiently. Later in the planning process, I will circle back to explain how and where we will source the remaining materials required for our construction efforts, ensuring a steady supply to keep the project on track. As we continue shaping our construction project, let's shift our focus to one of the most vital components in the game, the distribution office. If we consider resources to be the oxygen that fuels our ambitious city-building endeavor, then the vehicles managed by the distribution office are the lifeblood, tirelessly transporting those resources across the map to their designated construction sites. Fortunately, we have access to 5 of these offices, so let's maximize efficiency by setting up all of them. To stay organized and avoid any confusion, we can assign each office a name based on the specific resource it handles. For example, this particular distribution office will be dedicated to supplying fuel to all enterprises that require to keep operations running smoothly. To kick things off, we'll purchase oil tanks and establish our first delivery route, collect the fuel from the customs house and ensure both gas stations are consistently maintained at 80% capacity to support our machinery. Soon, our first fleet of vehicles rolls in. While some players might critique the game's slightly dated graphics, I find the vehicle models absolutely delightful. Each truck even features a tiny driver inside, adding a charming and nostalgic touch to the overall experience. While our team is occupied with the fuel logistics, let's focus on the construction office. As a reminder, we have 7 of these offices, each essential to our project. The first one will handle transporting workers using only vehicle currently available. We will also need a wide range of equipment from the relevant tabs: bulldozers, excavators, dumpers for aggregate resources, concrete mixers, open hulls for materials stored in open storages, and covered hulls for resources like electronic components. All this equipment now will be assigned to the appropriate construction office. The reason for such a diverse fleet is that these offices not only oversee construction, but also manage the delivery of resources and workers to the sites. If construction stalls, the game will indicate whether you're short on resources, equipment or workers. Equipment can later be reassigned to a permanent construction office or temporarily parked at the road depot if construction in a specific area is complete. Once more spacious open hulls become available, we can use them to transport excavators and bulldozers, speeding up the construction pace. The construction office automatically determines which equipment to deploy, which resources to deliver, and how many workers are needed. Alright, let's add a couple more dumpers to the road depot to fill our storage with gravel. We'll also task one distribution office with delivering our construction materials. 3 open hulls should suffice for now. Since we smartly organized our storages by resource type, we only need to select the customs house as a resource of all materials. Then, without specifying material types, we can simply designate our storages as destinations. The distribution office will figure out what to pick up and where to deliver. Now that's one problem's done. Now let's set up something similar for the construction office. We'll start by selecting the office responsible for transporting workers and designate the customs office as the pickup point. For the other offices, we will do the same and add our storages as destinations. This way, all resources except those that already stored locally will be imported from abroad. To save time, we can copy this setup and apply it to the remaining construction offices. I usually disable auto-search at the start of the game to prevent construction offices from overloading themselves with tasks and to allow me to manually decide where to build and in what order of priority. Later, when more advanced equipment becomes available, we can enable auto-search. Next, we will assign all offices to a shortcut. This feature allows us to set tasks manually with ease. When it's time to commission a planned construction site, all we need to do is click the shortcut, select the desired area, and the construction office will send the necessary equipment to the site. The first month has passed, and while there is still much to do, we've successfully laid the groundwork for the grand construction project ahead of us. A 5-year plan. Honestly, I couldn't have imagined how much we could achieve in such a time, especially when the party declares it must be done. Next up, we'll establish a railway depot, construct a high-voltage power line, and pave the roads with cement.